Winners are people who first love to win and don't see losing as opportunity. So they understand that they may lose in one battle, but they need to win the war or win the whole game.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today I'm with Eldad Posten-Korn, 37 and the founder of CEO of Winn.AI, a startup that builds an artificial intelligence-based personal assistant for salespeople. The company has been operating for less than a year, raised $17 million as an initial investment, and has 25 employees. The idea behind Winn.AI came after leading sales at DreamMed Diabetes, where he started as a salesman himself. In the past, he also worked at the venture capital fund Ourcrowd as responsible for the business development of the portfolio companies. In addition, Eldad has been an active entrepreneur for the past decade. In recent years, he and his heart surgeon wife, Roni, co-founded Shavot, a non-profit organization for girls' leadership. The organization is already active in 26 cities with over 3,000 female volunteers. Shavot is also the leader of Israeli Girls Week, where more than 100,000 girls and teenagers will partake in activities meant to inspire women this year. In the past, Eldad founded the Sky's the Limit Association that promoted social entrepreneurship for at-risk youth and served as chairman of the student union at the Hebrew University. He also served as an officer in the Israeli Navy. We're going to have a really good time over these 20 minutes talking about your journey, and not just with the journey of Winn.AI and talking about salespeople and the intersection of artificial intelligence, but also looking a little bit on your journey a little bit broader than that with Shavot and the different organizations you've been a part of. You've been in so many different industries, in so many different types of roles that I can already sense from your energy, the type of person that would go. Exactly. Well, let's start there, Eldad. Connect the dots for me on your journey. Who is Eldad? There are so many different things you were doing.
It's a good question. I think that the major character that I can say that goes along in my whole career is taking responsibility. And I know it's sound a little bit cliche, but I think that this is the main, my main motivation is to take responsibility, whether it's about my community, about the university when I was in the university, and that goes along. So I'm this guy that takes responsibility, even though it's very yellow to say, but it is that's the truth.
Well, what do you mean by that? Because there's all sorts of ways in taking responsibility. You're taking it much more from an entrepreneurial perspective. How does that come to place?
So I think that the way that I take responsibility is when I see something that is wrong or broken, or that I can feel that I can do better. I will step up and do something about it. I won't way that someone else will do it for me or someone else will improve the situation. So I'm taking responsibility by definition.
I love that definition. Give me an example. Let's look at Shavot, for example. Cool. What was that? What was that about taking responsibility?
Yeah, so 5 years ago, 2018, Roni, my wife, she's a heart surgeon. Today, back then, she was in med school. And so we felt that we want to do something together. It was just after we both left the student union of the Hebrew University. And I was after shifting to startups and the high-tech world. And I felt that something is missing, the impact is missing. And she left the student union. So we thought, okay, let's see if we can do something together. And together we started a very interesting conversation, which actually was part of hitchhiking that we did together. And we asked ourselves, like, what is the one thing that you want to change in the world? Or what is the one thing that you find it, that piss you? And then we thought about lack of, I don't know if I want to call it the gender gap, or the differences between men and women, the chances, the opportunities between men and women in our current world. So we thought about how we can, as a couple and as a team, how we can change the world in this aspect. And we thought about a program for girls and to teach young girls how to be leaders in their community, whether it's about how to set goals and to debrief themselves. And then we started to read lots of researchers from Stanford University. And this is how, was the key moment where Shavot was born. It was a hitchhiking of 4 days from the Mediterranean to the Galilee Sea. And we spoke about that. And this is how we started. We started with 10 girls in Jerusalem 5 years ago. Today we have more than 3,000 girls from north of Israel to the south of Israel that on a weekly basis going through a leadership program as we teach them, not we, personally today, but we have more than 200 instructors. They teach them how to be leaders in their community. So this was one example.
If you're looking, let's just look a little bit more broadly speaking, and then we'll dive into Winn.AI. If you're looking at this concept of taking ownership and taking responsibility over something that you care about or that you see as wrong or not working the way that you think it should, obviously it's there's a lot of friction in taking responsibility and taking ownership. Let's break the myth. How do we break the myth? How do we get somebody who truly does care about something to take action and take responsibility, really kind of in the way that you did with Shavot?
So I think that the way it works for me, at least, is baby steps. It's not like Shavot or Winn.AI was built one day out of nowhere, out of just, I'm sitting in the room and puff, the day after it happens. I really believe in small successes. Let's start with, just recruiting 4 students. Let's just, make success by recruiting 10 girls. One step after another. And I think that the fact that I'm able to move very fast in the long term, but have the patience for the long term, it's a good combination, because this is how I managed to achieve small successes, but over time it makes a big difference. So I think that it's just a matter of motivation, dedication, and hard working, with taking into consideration that you're gonna fail, and I failed like tons. Which is also a cliche.
Okay, so let's dive into it. It is sort of, but you have to fail. You have to fail in a sometimes someone ever so have to fail fabulously. Like, you can't just fail. If you fail, you have to have an extravagant failure that actually means something. A lot of people sort of have a mellow fail, but I like to have extravagant fail so that I can really learn from it. But it's just a personal touch. Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the artificial intelligence and sales. Well, what's happening there? I mean, I love AI. I'm okay with sales. I need to get better at it. But how do these two worlds come together?
By the way, this is the number one profession which is not learned in school, should be taught in school, is how to sell. But anyway, so I think that AI...
Wait, let's start there.
Yeah, because
what do you mean by that?
Let's
talk about
sales, that. Being a good salesperson is not only about selling a product or selling a service. It's about the ability to have the ability to have a message, and that the other side will receive the message, and to understand that communication is not only about the words, is also about the emotion and the ability to do public speaking. And I think that in the in the US is more advanced when you have show and tell in the kindergarten. In Israel, that's nobody tell you how to be a public speaker from day one. And I think that being a salesperson is amazing toolkit for people, whatever you want to do, because hiring people is doing sales, getting customers is doing sales, fundraising is doing sales. This is all the same things, all the same methodology, same mindset. But that's about sales. How do AI get into the picture? So I think that let's take a step back, if I may. And I think that AI is once again it's a tool, and I think that the problem is in sales, and that's a very, very common problem. With like 90% of the salespeople don't love to track and don't love to update the CRM after each and every call, because it's tedious and it's boring and it's like tons of manual work. The industry speaks about between 20 to 25% of the time of a salesperson updating the CRM. This is ridiculous. It's like tons of time. And I think that AI as a tool, and you can use AI for endless scenarios. I think that there's a really, really, really strong use case for solving this very common problem. Like this is once again, every salesperson will tell you that. And this is actually the one problem we're trying to solve in Winn.AI, like to take the word of notes taking, playbook tracking, and updating to the CRM using AI. And the other side of the same coin is how to help sales leaders, VP sales, CRO, directors, and so on, to help them to increase the adoption of the playbook, which is usually, sits on the shelf and nobody uses it. So this is that's a true scenario and a true opportunity here to use AI to solve true problems.
Yeah, if we're looking at the vision for Winn.AI, let's play it. Few years down the line, what is the role that AI is playing in sales or conversations or changing the landscape of the way companies are closing things?
So I think that it's, we don't need to wait for Mark Zuckerberg for metaverse. I think that today we live in a world now, even, you and me, we are communicating through a digital channel, and why not? Why shouldn't be it, use augmented reality based on that digital channel? Now, I don't know, I'm communicating with candidates, customer, prospects, service providers, like tons of people that I communicate through with, video conference, Zoom, whatever it is. And I think it just makes sense. And this is not a trend. This is how life's gonna look like in the global world. And I think it just makes sense to utilize the fact that we are communicating on a digital channel to have augmentation of knowledge, and augmentation that captured the knowledge, and augmentation that helps my life to be better and to make me super productive. And I think that this is the vision of Winn.AI. Winn.AI is not about sales. Winn.AI is about helping people to remove the manual task in their day-to-day. It could be in sales, it could be in customer success, it could be in support, it could be in sales development, it could be, but also in telemedicine and HR interviews. Each one of us who communicate on video conferences, it just makes sense to have this kind of augmentation that helps you to be superhuman.
I have to say that, and I encourage anybody listening here to just go to Winn.AI website, because it's one of the most fun websites that I've been to. And I usually don't recommend people to do things as they're listening to this. But it really is remarkable. Go and come back. But the reason why I'm saying it is because I'm listening to you talk, and I'm listening to you talk about, this problem and your personality. And it just, I can see why the website is the way that it is. I would be very surprised if you did it have a major impact in the way that it is?
I'm going to be very transparent. I felt that it's a little bit too much, but then I was convinced by Oren Cohen, he's like our director of growth, that this is what we should do. And I said, let's do it. And today I love it. I'm so proud. Truly.
It looks like you're living it. It's pretty awesome. Tell me a little bit about the personas that are, into Winn.AI. I was trying to look through, the offering in the website. I mean, obviously, first of all, the problem space, very clear. The types of people that need to use it. I mean, I can clearly see, the huge benefits of this. And honestly, if I want to use Winn.AI for this podcast itself, just because it just makes perfect sense. But tell me a little bit about sort of the personas within the organizations that are sort of considered as the early adopters or the people that are really buying into this.
So I think that today I can split the audience into three. You have the sales development people. Once again, today we do not support dialers, but we do support video conferences, and some of the BDRs or the SDRs or the XDRs, as some call them today, use Zoom for qualification and, the top of the funnel conversation. So this is one persona. The second persona is the AE, the account executive, the salesperson, usually in a software company. But I think that the third persona who use Winn.AI today is the AE who doesn't sell software necessarily. Because we need to remember that we have like tons of people who sell software, but we have, 10 times more account executives who do not sell software. And this is, a huge opportunity that we see, and we target them as well. So sellers from SDRs to account executive, software and not software. This is the three main persona, and of course we have their managers who also benefit from our value proposition.
And as you see the company growing, what are the main milestones that you foresee for Winn.AI in the near future as you're growing this, either from a product perspective, from an offerings perspective, or technology?
So first, I want to support all of the video conferences. I want to support all of the dialers. So the idea is that I will be able to support SDRs who use dialers from one end to customer success and support on the other end. By the way, when we will be able to do that, we will also solve a very big problem in organization, in management of the data in the handoffs between SDR to account executive to customer success or sales engineer and so on. So this is also going to be a huge solution for a huge problem. And I think that this is one end. The other end is to keep improving the AI ability of tracking and capturing and truly understanding the conversation. Because just to give you a quick example, when I will ask you, how many employees are you? And your answer will be 20 or 20 employees, or I would ask you, how many employees are you? Are you 20 employees? Sorry, and your answer will be yes. These are three ways to ask the same questions, and machine won't necessarily will understand the same answer. And I think that the understanding of the context, this is like 90% of human conversation is the understanding of the context. It is not the understanding of the words. And this is where we're aiming, and we see now like the beginning of success in this effort as well.
I love it. So obviously, Eldad, you're very intentional and you care a lot. I mean, those, I think, two things that I can come out of this conversation with pretty clear conviction on. Tell me about why you founded Winn.AI. What was it?
So first, I from my personal experience as a salesperson, until today, I suck at filling out the CRM, truly, unfortunately. So first, I built the product for myself. Like, it will be fun if other people will use it, but I built it for myself. That's first. But second, I think that the opportunity to do something huge, scalable, global, because Shavot today is amazing, but it's also only in Israel. And I think that the opportunity to solve a global problem and to affect life of millions and to improve their life and to make their life better, I think that's my major motivation and inspiration in what we do.
That's awesome. And if you had to think about the optimal type of person to work with you on this journey, as the company grows, and I'm sure that everybody's talking about culture these days, but if we're looking at actually the type of person that you would want as a part of the sort of the family that wins together at Winn.AI, what is this type of person? And I have a feeling that it's an important question to ask you because of your intentionality and the fact that you've worked with so many different teams, and you really are operating from a place of transparency and authenticity. Who is the type of person that you want to partner with on this journey?
Once again, let's do another cliche: winners. And winners by heart, because winners are people who first love to win and don't see losing as opportunity. So they understand that they may lose in one battle, but they need to win the war or win the whole game. So people who have perseverance and people who have real hunger to get out of their comfort zone and to do new things and to work with other people similar to their mindset. I think that's the first thing. And I think that the second thing is also connected to the first one. I think that you need to be a team player. You can't win alone. This is not a marathon that you are running alone. It's all about the ability to connect and communicate very, very transparently, very, very easily with other people. Today we sit in our office. We have a new office in Ramat Gad. So we sit together. There are no walls between the different teams, because sales need to be able to communicate with development, and development need to be able to communicate with product without boundaries. And I think that people with the ability to communicate well and work well as a team, this is, that's a requirement. It's not nice to have it. This is a requirement in order to win. And I'm looking for people like that.
I love it. Very, very cool. Eldad, thank you so much for your time, for your energy and insights. And I can't wait to continue being a cheerleader from the side.
Join us.
Well, I'm gonna have to fail extravagantly with my own startup first, even though I'm definitely not planning on failing. But thank you very, very much, Eldad. And seriously, I urge anybody to go to your website just because it's an experience. So take care, Eldad. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Have a great day.